Okay. We'll move on. You all in your packet have the letter from Carlisle Wortman, and it's been posted. We'll move on unless someone has a question about that.
I'd like to make a statement since you're bringing up this letter.
Okay.
The Township Board looked out in the best fiduciary responsibility.
This is bad.
The Township Board looked at
No, call the public sober.
their fiduciary responsibility.
Thank you.
In asking for the planning consultants to bid their services to this township due to an increase that Carlisle Wortman gave the township. So I am pointing that out to the residents on TV land and to those that are still here before they leave so that they can hear it. The reason that Carlisle Wortman resigned is because they did not want to go ahead and put their prices back out for bid against competitive bidding. And that your township board is looking at your best interest with the funding that comes in and asked the services to be bid because there was an increase in their rates, and it hasn't been bid in over 6 years that I've been a planning commissioner, and it should be done every 2 to 3 to 4 years maximum. So Carlisle Wortman did not want to bid against open bidding against other companies. That's why they submitted their letter of resignation. Thank you.
Do we have any other comments, and then I'll...
Yeah, I want to read something in the email that I sent out. All of you had seen, so I just want to read this off to the public. This came from me. As a business owner, I respect the decision not to go through the bidding process Carlisle Wortman has decided not to go through. After 10 years of not having to justify their costs, I can see why they perhaps feel like they don't want to continue with a process in bidding against others. I do think the Township Board is right in proceeding as they have in bidding out the service as a planner. That's the process that should be done on a regular basis since it's their fiduciary responsibility to look out for the people's money, getting the best bang for their buck, so to speak. Not doing so leads to complacency and almost a sense of entitlement. Deciding suddenly to sever the business relationship and drop all involved projects immediately speaks volumes of the type of business that Carlisle Wortman has become. I think it is poor business and it isn't great reflection on them, regardless of how beneficial their company may have been in the past. I don't believe that this will be a tragedy or tragic for our township. No one person or one business is irreplaceable. The choice to discontinue services is on Carlisle Wortman. But not a thing that they have been working on can't be easily picked up by another firm. I am a firm believer that change is good in the end, even if something that makes us feel uncomfortable. In the end, this change will be a great thing for Northfield Township. I wish Doug and Carlisle Wortman the best. I just wish that they could have handled this discontinuation of services in a more professional manner.
Ms. Chick.
I agree that with Mr. Stanalajczo's comment that any company has the right to bid on a job or not. They chose not to. I do think it's a little bit dangerous for people reading this letter to kind of speculate on what the reasons were. Carlisle Wortman and Doug Lewan have put out this letter and they have told us exactly what they want us to know. If he wanted us to have more information, he would have been here to speak to it, but I think we should respect him and honor the letter and take it for what it is. Again, it serves no purpose to kind of tear it apart and try to figure out why it's a done deal. We need to move forward. I don't think it was unprofessional. Just because they can bid or they can choose not to bid, and we put it up for bid, so they've made that decision.
Okay. Mr. Dignan.
Yeah, the bidding wasn't the item I had an issue with. It was the dropping everything immediately that I found very unprofessional. The one thing in the letter, and I have no idea why Carlisle Wortman came to the decision they did, but it's very clear that they had an agenda. And the fact that they're saying it's clear to us that Northfield Township would like to move in a different direction with regards to planning and zoning, and we will step aside and allow the township to do so, means they had a conceived notion as to what they wanted the township to go down. Because if they didn't, there wouldn't be this so-called change of direction. You know, I respect their services. I think they've provided to us the things we've asked them for, but I also believe that they have not been visionary to adapt with the changing climate in the township, the things that have been going on, the struggles the township has gone through, the kind of bold leadership that's necessary from a firm that's dealing with that. I have not seen that. Others may view that differently, and I respect their right to view that differently, but clearly they had a direction they intended the township to go, and they believe the township has a direction that the township wants to go. And when you hire someone to consult for you, they need to work with you, I would say without an agenda. So
Okay.
that's my thought. Thank you.
Okay. I would like to say that when their contract was first put up before the township in 2009, they haven't had a raise since 2009. They asked for a modest 2.9%, which is like $2.50 an hour. They wanted an increase of their retainer for attending 2 meetings, providing training for us once a year, and unlimited email and phone calls. For they wanted a $50 raise to $500. Okay. Now we have. I would think that would just be a reasonable thing to consider when you're deciding to put that out for bid or not. What is the market out there? Now maybe nobody knew what the market was out there, but we have four RFPs that have come back, all significantly higher than that, and we'll have to choose between them. Well, the Board of Trustees will have to choose between them. So I think it's inappropriate and unacceptable to be making charges against the company. Doug Lewan is nothing but an honest, high-integrity professional, and to make these attacks is totally unacceptable. He is not dropping the work. They are completing the work that they have started, and the documents are continuing to come in. They will continue to be available if needed for those. This is a good low time in the township where there's not a lot going on. It's a good time for them to make the change. Okay. They operate under a code of ethics that puts the public interest first. We have a master plan that was put together with a great deal of public input. It was adopted in 2012. Mr. Iaquinto made the motion at the Board of Trustees and commended the Planning Commission on the good job that we did. You also sat on the committee that took a look at the future land use plan. Mr. Stanalajczo seconded that motion. Okay, the Board of Trustees adopted it unanimously. Okay, that was 3 years ago today. Not a lot has changed except someone has come into the community wanting to build a subdivision. Now, we have made changes to the master plan twice, I believe, since it was adopted, to tweak the U.S. North Territorial Area, U.S. 23 North Territorial Area, and I think we did one other little change to it. It can be changed when appropriate. Okay, so we were taking a look at it. But Mr. Lewan has had the public interest at heart from the beginning, and to have him drag through the mud because not everyone's point of view is the same is inappropriate and unacceptable. This is a professional body, and I ask that we all respect each other and behave in the meeting. Okay.
Madam Chair?
Everyone has.
Excuse me. Madam
Please
Chair?
don't. Mr. Dignan, go ahead.
I take exception with your comments. They are not true. I led a consulting firm for 20 years, and I can tell you this, never once when we lost a bid or we chose not to bid against a company did we say, well, in 2 weeks, we're walking away, good luck. And that's what they've done here. They've said it in their letter that they are walking away as of July 8th. We will no longer represent the township in any land use matters, period. You don't do that. If you are a professional organization, first of all, you come and talk to the people before you do something like this. Secondly, you say, we understand that there's a difference. We're going to choose not to bid, but until you have an organization in place to take over, we will provide you limited services. That's what you do as a professional organization.
They are doing that.
That is not what their letter says.
Okay.
Their letter states
Okay.
very clearly, as of Wednesday, July 8th, we will no longer be representing the township in any land use matters, and we
Okay.
will not be attending the July 1st Planning Commission meeting. So they're under contract right now. They're not here at the table, as they should be, and they're walking away from the township July 8th. That is anything but professional.
Okay, I disagree, but Mr. Lewan had another engagement this evening. That's why he could not attend.
Then why wasn't someone from his firm here? He's always sent someone in place otherwise.
Thank you.
Okay?
Ditto.
We will move on. Okay. We'll move on to the reports. Board of Trustees.